Good afternoon, WTF Shock Troopers. Welcome to the July 15th, Friday episode of WTF Central Oregon, where I give you my uncensored view on Central Oregon life, news, and events. As usual, I am your host and bull in the Central Oregon China Shop, Jeremy Johnson. I would like to take this time to thank my generous parental units for loaning me the money to purchase the software needed to edit my show, and therefore saving Red Hand Studios from putting their faces through walls. Today I was out riding my mountain bike, doing my usual errands, running the 7-Eleven, storage, the bank, and I kind of made a really jacked observation. I bank at Bank of America here in town, and I realized that there are two Banks of America in town, and they are less than a mile apart from each other. Seriously, Bank of America, what the hell? And moving on to a topic that is still kind of pretty stressful to me, the fact that I still don't have a job. So if you're a business or know somebody that has a business that might have a need for somebody that's kind of a smart ass, good with computers, good writer, and anything else, send me an email and I will send you an official Jeremy Johnson resume. Wow, that really hurt my pride for a second, but desperate times call for desperate measures, and I'm tired of being freaking broke all the time. Anyways, enough of the fluff, on with the news. My first story of the day is also my ass hat of the day. A local Bend woman was pulled over downtown Bend shortly after 11 p.m. on Wednesday evening, suspected of driving under the influence. The Bend City Police did indeed find her to be driving under the influence and cited her on the scene. But that's not all, Central Oregon. It gets better. She apparently left her 4-month-old daughter at home alone. This, of course, she denies. She states that she left her daughter at home with a 9-year-old that police could not find upon entering her house. So on top of a DUI, she was also charged with child neglect, had her baby taken away from her, to be released with a friend of the family. Talk about a bad day, sweetheart. First a DUI, then child neglect, your baby taken away, and now you have to deal with me. So if your story checks out and you did actually leave your daughter at home with a 9-year-old to get drunk or whatever downtown, doesn't matter. Oregon state law says that you cannot leave any children at home alone, unsupervised, under the age of 10. So you actually admitted to 2 cases of child neglect instead of the 1. By my reasoning, you pretty much started at the top of the stupid tree and hit every fucking branch on the way down. And I find it sad that your kid is probably going to be given right back to you due to our system. Okay, on to the next story. Nearly 200 residents of Bend were hit with identity theft and credit card fraud over the past week or so. Many of the fraudulent charges were made out of state, like in New York and Mexico. Bend Police Department, ever so vigilant to solve crimes in a timely manner, stated that they have been doing nothing the past 3 or 4 days but collecting information. And they also stated that this case will not be solved anytime soon, but will be a long-term case. Hooray, Bend City Police Department, or as I like to refer to you guys, Zippy the Wonder Slug. I guess walking across the fucking street all day in Northeast Bend, trying to get hit by idiots in cars and then ticketing them for it, really takes away from your motivation to solve actual crimes. So until Bend City Police Department actually does go out to start investigating this crime, I've got a suggestion for you. Don't be stupid, Central Oregon. If you're in line in the grocery store and some guy behind you is texting on his iPhone, there is a small chance that he's not actually texting, but he's waiting to take a picture of your debit card, credit cards, driver's license, social security number, and so on. So when you break out your debit card, your credit card, or your driver's license, keep it really close to yourself and turn your back to people when you're entering your PIN number on those machines. And now on to my last story. The Redmond City Council is at war, Central Oregon. And what is it that has Redmond's proverbial panties in a wad? Education reform, promoting tourism, economic growth to create jobs, or D, none of the above? The answer, Central Oregon, is D, none of the above. After a staggering number of complaints, Redmond City Council decided to regulate ice cream truck drivers, requiring them to have business licenses, background checks, fingerprinting, safety lights, and regulating the levels of their music. Upon adjourning Tuesday's meeting, Redmond City Council promptly threw a sack of kittens in the canal, kicked your dog, and made your children eat their lima beans. Wow, since when did Redmond go from Bend's ugly red-headed stepchild to Central Oregon's fun police? And yes, I know, before you start blasting me on the interwebs, I know it has to do with the whole child molester, sexual predator, all that good stuff, but you gotta admit, it is still kind of funny. And that, Central Oregon, is pretty much it for the news. I attended Munchin Music last night for the first time in probably 3 years, and I'm not gonna lie, I had a blast. It was great to see Curtis Salgado come back to Central Oregon, all the food, the music, the vendors, and it was just great to see everyone having a good time. I got to see my boys from 5 for 1 Threads again, and I met Kirk from Enjoy Bend, Oregon, where he gave me this sweet t-shirt. Pretty nice, huh? I would also like to thank Bend Memorial Clinic for setting up a tent and providing me with my very first WTF Central Oregon endorsed mountain bike crash response kit. I have a feeling this thing's going to see a lot of use in my day-to-day travels in the near future. There is just one event that I want to spotlight in today's show, and that is the Stand Up Against Hunger on Saturday, July 23rd at 8 p.m. at the Tower Theater. All proceeds go to the Bend, Oregon Neighbor Impact Food Bank and will feature great Central Oregon comedians and Bend's very own Bend Improv Group. I'm hoping to get talks started soon for WTF Central Oregon's very own Throwdown for the Hometown, benefiting the Start Making a Reader Today, which is scheduled for the first Friday in November. As usual, you can find me on my Facebook page, my Twitter page, my YouTube page, and you can contact me directly using my email, WTFcentraloregon@gmail.com. Anyways, that's all I have for you today, Central Oregon. Be safe, and I'm out.
The day is over. It's time for me to say goodbye. To say goodbye.